What is up, everybody? TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com. Today we are at an undisclosed location. You'll see a dark shadow behind me. That is a cave. We're going to be doing some testing of some of our O-lights. So without further ado, let's light it up. What's up, everybody? So Isaac and I went spelunking. Spelunking is defined as cave exploring. So we went spelunking at an undisclosed location. It was a private cave because we wanted to test out some of our O-lights. And we've seen a lot of tests of people, going out at night, which is usually where you're going to be using your O-light. But we wanted to make things as dark as humanly possible. And what better way to do that than to go to a cave? So we went to a cave to test out our O-lights. Now, what we're going to be doing now is showing you the video along with our reactions to it and kind of narrating it as we go along. So, since we're testing out O-lights, why don't we
light it up?
Let's light it up. All right, folks, we are just inside the mouth of this enormous cave here. We're going to go spelunking, do some exploring, and we're going to show you how all of these different flashlights work. Now, we've got the Marauder 2. That's 14,000 lumens. Then we step down to the Warrior Mini, and then we've also got our brand new M1T Raider. We're going to show you the differences between these and give you some kind of idea as to what you might like in a flashlight. Let's go take a look. So right here we're going through the early parts of the cave, and the ceiling. I'm just excited. I've been fascinated by the ceiling was probably 60 or 70 feet high.
Yeah, well, in some parts, I think, like, even right here, this was one of the shorter parts of how high it actually got. I would say in some points it had to at least be 100 feet.
Yeah, it was massive. At least in the beginning, it was massive. A lot of open areas.
Our friend that led us in this cave, it was funny because he's never been in any other cave but this one. And so, me and you were talking about.
All right, so guys, we're now deeper in the cave. We're probably, I'd say, about 150 yards down in this cave. No semblance of light whatsoever, except for the lights that we brought. And you can see, obviously, the light on the camera. We're going to do some testing with these lights. First, we're going to do that M1T Raider and see what kind of light it throws out there. It's going to light this cave up pretty darn good. I would say that ceiling there is at least 50 foot high, and maybe a little bit higher, given that I'm actually standing up a little bit. You can see some water dripping down from the top there. And this M1T Raider actually lights it up fantastic in here. Now, we're going to show you the Warrior Mini. It's going to light up very similar. Might be a little bit brighter there from the testing that we're doing right here, but not by much. The difference is the Warrior Mini is going to have a tail switch as well as a head switch there. So it's got both. It's also, with the tail switch, got momentary on, so you can hold it, and it's got a dim mode and a bright mode. And then when you release, it's going to turn off. If you click on really quick, it's just going to turn it on and stay on. So it's got the different modes, whereas the Raider here is just going to have the tail switch on and off. Now, let's pull out the big boy, the Marauder 2 here. We're going to produce some daylight in this cave here. So we're going to activate it, wind it up, and get it real bright. And you can see it lights up every crevice in this cave. Fantastic right there. You can also dial down the intensity, save battery life there, or you can dial it right back up, get it super bright. This is flood mode. Then we've also got spotlight mode, and it's going to produce a very concentrated beam.
He's never even seen the roof of this cave until we brought this light. So I thought that was a pretty kind of touching moment in a way, because his family's owned this since like the 50s or 60s. Right.
Now, I want to say parts of this cave got a little tricky, especially
for the guy having to carry the camera the whole time.
You weren't the only one carrying things, Isaac.
I mean, that right there. Look, look at that. I don't even think I could get. Yeah, this is where I switched.
This is actually the first time I've seen that shot right there.
This is the spot where I was like, this has got to be at least 100 feet.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, you can look
Wow.
at how big it is compared to how big, our bodies were.
This was a really cool natural bridge that had fell over to walk on, and these big boulders that you see are actually parts of the ceiling that have fallen over the years, which is kind of terrifying in a way. Oh, coming up, here's this panoramic shot that you were taking. The panoramic shot that's about to come up will give you a really good idea of what this room looks like when it's all lit up, which is a really cool effect that came from this. I think it's going to be a slow pan right here, but we'll throw in a large scale of it too. It's just hard to fit in there, but
it really gives you an idea of the scope of everything.
How trippy that is. I can't even get it on my...
So here was a part of the cave that we really wanted to go further in, but we probably needed like some kind of wetsuit or something so we wouldn't have been miserable the whole time.
I'm just going to say, I was completely game to go up there, but I was not comfortable carrying these very expensive flashlights that do not belong to me.
And this ladder didn't look very inviting.
No, that ladder's been there for what looked like at least like 50 years under constant streams of water, and it was slightly rusty. I mean,
I don't think they've been treating that 1095 ladder. It needs some beef fat on it.
Some red-eyed hog beef fat on it.
Yeah.
I think it needs a little more than that right now. And
I could imagine being confident until like the last stab and it just breaking.
I'm not confident in the last tetanus shot I got. That's what I can tell you there.
It was really neat to find the salamander.
Yeah, that was really cool. And if you can imagine how deep we are in this cave right now, we're between a quarter mile and a half mile deep in this cave.
Yeah, no light at all. So.
And you got to imagine, this little fella had never seen any light at all. So it was really cool seeing life this far underground.
Now we're getting. This is where everything switched to dirt from like just kind of loose rock and stuff. And it was really interesting going through different phases of the cave.
Yeah.
This was probably the easiest staircase to go up the entire trip. From here on, it gets very treacherous too. Treacherous.
There you go.
Yes.
It gets very Tetris too. I like playing that game. It's where you stack the boulders.
Crazy how we went to this kind of dirt.
Yeah.
I always get panicked at the end when they start going faster.
Oh, yeah.
This one was kind of tricky.
Oh, okay.
A handrail would have been nice. But, you know,
so this is the
like I said, this is not a cave people go in. This is somebody's private property that they just have this cave on.
And you can see right here the elevation change.
You probably went down 40, 50 feet from where I'm standing right there alone.
Wait on me, guys.
And right here was an old saltpeter mine.
Yeah, and there was a couple of them. We saw one that was actually a little bit deeper. I think we'll see the GoPro footage here in just a minute. I actually got down in this one. I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't terrible to get back up out of.
Excellent. Now, what kind of treasure is that? What does it say? Real fruit.
So,
I see.
also, it's important to note that this cave was open until I'd say probably 30 years ago.
It used to be like a Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, people, I mean, this isn't a secret cave. It's just, you know, undisclosed because he doesn't want people trying to break in and go in it.
Because right now it is closed up. There is a wall, there is a door, there is a fence.
So, guys, we're, I'd say at least 300 yards into this cave now. And
do that, so.
There's no light. We have gone past some waterfalls, and now there is no sound. We've actually become completely isolated from sound. And that's the weirdest and most eerie feeling. to be completely isolated, not hear any noise, not
I
hear
love the zipper hoses in the dark.
no living organisms besides the salamander that we saw.
You gotta go, man.
Really cool and really creepy because
You were sitting here
all I
talking,
can
"It's
see
so
right now is
quiet."
the red light from the GoPro.
Click, click.
We just came from right up in there.
Smells like my grandma's basement.
Smells like your grandma's basement.
Very musty.
I'm gonna need you to not use that word ever. I hate that word.
It's right there with moist.
Yes.
This was another very large part of the cave.
It's possible this is the most light this cave's ever seen. Light.
It's possible, for sure. Surface, for sure.
Gosh, it just keeps opening.
And that
up
was the
into
thing.
just a big
It
room.
was just a constant being amazed every time we
Yeah.
were walking. You know, it was. Even right now, as I'm watching it, it's just retaking it back
Yeah.
in. It's kind of like, wow, this place was.
And so many individual chambers, and that's what made it so eerie and how the sound got so isolated.
I don't think it goes very far, but
Give me a thumbs up.
This is so
I'm here to tell you, this was one of the most fun things I've done so far. I really enjoyed doing this.
by far. But I'm kind of a nerd.
This part right here, I went down first.
This was tough.
This was probably the sketchiest part that we had to go through, and it kills me because it doesn't give it justice.
Yeah.
When we're coming back out, you'll see it a little bit better at a scale, but where he's coming down right there's a rock that protrudes by his head that makes it so hard to get on that step right there.
It was not easy at all. And going back up was equally as disconcerting.
This was, you know, if you paid attention, we've just kept going down and down and down.
Yeah.
And so right here's just another 30, 20-foot drop
Yeah.
to keep going down into this cave. And you kind of do get a little discombobulated of how far you went down versus up you went because there was a lot of, you know, different channels that would come up, down, curve, left, right.
Undulations, if you will.
Is not going to slip.
exactly, because it's slippery
Look at them.
everywhere. Even where it's dry.
Yeah, it does look a lot easier.
And at this point, I was like, I know if I slip, I'm breaking something. And as deep as we are in this cave, it's going to take a long time for anybody to get to
we
me.
both just took off running down this.
You look like you're scaling a skyscraper.
Oh, there we go. Nice little handhold there.
I had that grip.
It was a nice little feature that he had installed there. Yeah.
Why didn't you crawl down in this one?
Well, let's see. That's why.
You about dropped the GoPro too.
Oh, yes. That would have been terrible if I'd have dropped that
This
GoPro.
is part of the conversation we have to censor out too.
Oh, is it? Why? Oh, yeah, that's right. We do have to.
There's some. I see
Yeah.
little step spots over here.
It got a little scary there when I almost dropped that GoPro because I was like, I don't want to lose all this footage that we've already
I would have
gotten
made you go back in there and get it.
all the way down in there. How would I have gotten out? You don't even care.
I'll be like, throw the GoPro up. All right, thanks. All right, so now we're at the end of it right
It's
here,
getting really tight in
which
here.
is kind of the end. There's other channels we could have
Yeah.
went into, but this was.
It's getting really narrow at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of
It's getting
creepy.
really tight in here.
This was my second
Like
time in the
duck
cave,
walking.
and the first time I went by myself all the way back here, and I remembered how creepy it was. As soon as you turn that light off, it just instantly feels like something is next to you.
Yeah.
or You just kind of got that feeling that you're not alone.
You had me turn that light
It
off.
still goes further back
Right
in
here.
there. So, guys, this is really creepy. I feel like I'm filming part of the descent here. And I'm going to be honest with you.
It's creepy back there, ain't it?
I'm kind of afraid to turn my light back on.
It's scary, man. You get that eerie feeling back there?
This gives you a really good idea of how tight it is.
No.
It
It just gets a little tighter and a little tighter as it goes on.
Just another big opening, but
But it's not that
you can
big.
see. it
So
was
this
just
is a
basically
perfect
2
example.
feet.
Do you see what I was talking about?
Yeah,
With the water, how it used to be pressed
Uh-huh.
up against,
yeah,
basically like a gutter system for the top of the mountain.
Right.
It would start right here, And as years go by, you can see it just
Channeled down and dug in.
Yeah.
This was a really interesting.
Did you see those initials?
Creepy. This was the first time I had ever been in the cave, and I looked over when Isaac pointed it out. Yeah, so it really scared me. I'm not gonna lie, to see my own initials. Now I know I'm not the only person with the initials TCB, but still, it kind of freaks you out when you look over and you see your initials on the side of a cave that you've never been in your life, and God only knows how old those were, because nobody's had access to this cave in a long time.
Are my initials? I mean, granted, a lot of people have used the initials TCB, taking care of business. All right, guys, so we've gone about as far as we can go. We could probably go a little bit further, but it would require like snake crawling, like army crawling back in this cave. There's another corridor that goes another like 50 feet back in here, but it's super tight. Like the rocks will be like right on our back. So we've gone about as far as we can. We're probably, I'd say, 500-600 yards deep into this cave, into a mountain. And this thing has been fascinating, and this has been the most fun I have had yet on this channel. This is fantastic. We've done some great testing of these Olites, and they have performed flawlessly. We've got the Warrior Mini right here. We've got the big boy in my backpack. I can't get to it right now. It's a little tight quarters in here, but Isaac's got the M1T Raider, and these things have performed flawlessly and are still working great.
And I've got to say, the batteries held up really well. Like,
Oh yeah,
we
they
were
held
in
up
this cave for a really long time.
I would
using them
say
the
we
whole
were
time.
in there for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. This video is really cut up to, it's cut up a lot, and it's still a 20 plus minute video.
Yeah.
But what I was saying earlier is, this cave, all the way up until I want to say 1920 was open to just about anybody who came by, and then from 1920 it was, I want to. These dates could be wrong, but they're roughly accurate.
Yeah. Sometime around mid-century, it was walled up and it was shut off, and mid-20th century,
private,
and was
Our
private
buddy
use
and
only.
his family just
Yeah.
was the only ones in and out of it. So this part right here, this is when we were coming out from the tall part, and well, the end of the cave right here. This walking down here was, it doesn't show it on the camera, but this was like a 70, 65 degree,
Yeah, it was very steep and very slick too, because it was really sandy, really silty. So it was not sure footing at all.
You can just see the
You can
rocks.
see how far down. Yeah.
You can see that, like, rocks don't fall like that.
No. Oh,
I had to put the camera
that
on the
looked a little
ground.
tricky. That looked a little uncomfortable.
All right, there's a good shot of showing how. Let's see if I get you right. Yeah, look, this gives you an
Yeah.
idea of what you have to.
I know that this video will never give justice to the actual
Scope.
difficulty of this.
No.
Very tricky.
You find it and then you just push yourself up.
Oh, here's the part where we said was tricky coming down. This is it coming up.
And I got to tell you, I was more uncomfortable coming back up than I was going down. Yeah, my bag fell across my back and threw my balance off completely.
And then there's
I don't know if you noticed this, but I was throwing rocks at you the whole time.
You jerk! I didn't notice it until now. I just saw it. I thought I kept getting something kept hitting me, but I thought it was just where pebbles had broken loose above me or something.
I had a whole handful, and I just kept.
See what I have to put up with? It's abuse.
This is the largest room I think that we were in.
Yeah, it was massive. And you can hear the active waterfall there, which was gorgeous.
You want me to take a picture of you?
He didn't want the picture, and then he saw us take a picture, and he's like, "Yeah, I do want a
Yeah, I
picture."
do want that picture, yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for us. We're back at the mouth of the cave. We went a long ways in there, And, well, me and Isaac survived. We did good, along with the help of our mystery man here that brought us here to our undisclosed location. We can't give away our secrets. But the Marauder 2, the Warrior Mini, and that Raider, M1T Raider, performed flawlessly. And still got battery left, and still lighting this place up like no tomorrow. Actually, it's creating a tomorrow itself. But this thing is fantastic. All of these lights have performed great, and we have had an absolute blast here in this cave. And folks, thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell so you will know when we drop cool new videos like these. And remember, if it cuts, we carry it.
So yeah, that's the cave.
Yep, and it was a lot of fun, folks. We really hope you like that. We had a blast doing it. And it was really cool to get to see a place where not a lot of other humans have been.
You know, like I said, this is the second time I got to go in this cave, and it was, to put it this way, and I'm not trying to sell the flashlight because, you know, I'm sure that's what most people do when they're doing these things, is just try to sell you. But for the straight purpose alone of, I went to Walmart, but this is before I worked here, and I bought what I thought was a good flashlight for $40.
Right.
And when I went in this cave, I didn't see half of what we just saw in this video, if that makes sense. So it was really, really fascinating, especially with the Marauder. You could even see our friend was just blown away that you could see so much of this cave. So, you know, if you need something of this kind of power, if you're in caves or you're exploring places like this, I don't know if I could recommend anything else other than as far as the battery life, as far as what you could see, and as far as all the options you get with it.
And, I mean, you're looking at uses beyond the normal, oh, I need to go take the garbage out at night. I mean, it's going to work great for that, and there's plenty of different models that you can use for that. But, I mean, we're talking along the lines of search and rescue. We're talking, like, extreme durability in very harsh conditions. And these things, like he said, performed flawlessly. And our buddy, there were parts of the cave that he had never seen. And his family, like, he's been in this cave numerous times. His family's owned it all of his life. And there were parts of this cave that he had never seen. He was literally awestruck and almost brought to tears by the scope of this cave that he had never seen before, because we brought these lights with us. And that was really moving and touching, not to mention speaks to the ability of these lights a lot.
They're great lights.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. This is what we want, you know, and that's what we're trying to do with this channel now is, you know, we're not just trying to sit behind a desk the entire time. We want to show you what these products can do. And this is like a perfect example of why if you want one, right here's a great reason. So close her out.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed that. We've got a lot more of this kind of content coming up, so stay tuned to our channel. If you liked it, like, share, comment, subscribe, and remember, if it cuts or lights it up,
we carry it.
We carry it.
We do.
We do.
We do.